Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rocio and this is Reese's Results for those of y'all who are tuning in for the very first time. This video I'm going to be talking about a curl journal, specifically my curl journal and what I've been putting in it, and also kind of giving you an idea on what you can do with your own curl journal and how you can track the progress of your hair in your curl journey. I've mentioned in previous videos that I have a curl journal and that I've been writing in it recently, and a lot of you have been asking what the heck a curl journal is. So I bought my curl journal at Barnes & Noble. No, there is not an aisle and there is not a section in Barnes & Noble that says curl journals. It's really just a basic journal, or you can get a diary or a notebook or just some loose leaf paper lying around and just keep track of the progress, to help keep track of the progress of your curly hair journey. I only started writing in a curl journal a little over a year ago, and the reason why I started was because there was a point in time in my curl journey where I felt like my hair wasn't changing at all. The only difference was that it was getting a little bit longer, but I mean, that's normal. Your hair is going to grow after a couple of months or throughout a couple of months, but I felt like the texture and the curls weren't changing much. It wasn't really getting any curlier, and back then it wasn't as curly as it is now. So I was curious as to what I was doing wrong, or if there was something I was doing differently that I just wasn't picking up on, or that I wasn't really noticing. So I was like, man, I wish there was a way that I could track the changes in my hair. And I was like, well, duh, I might as well just write it down, because I write everything else down. Why not write down changes about my hair in a journal too? So this is really good for those of you who are starting your transition, or for those of you who are already going along your curl journey and would like to keep track of the progress of your curly hair. It's a great way to find the right regimen for your hair. It's a great way to find what works for your hair, what doesn't work for your hair, and why they are working and are not working for your hair. So it's just a great way to measure progress and to look back and reflect on how far you've come from the beginning of your transition, or the beginning of your curl journey. So if you do have a journal lying around, what the heck are you going to write in it? At the end of the day, write down whether or not you had a good hair day. If you had a great hair day, write down why you think you had a great hair day, or what you love the most about your hair. So like days like today's, I would say it's a good hair day. Why? Because it looks moisturized, because it feels moisturized, it doesn't feel sticky, because they look bouncy, because it's not frizzy, things like that. Now, if you're having a bad hair day, which I've had several of those in the past too, write down why you've had a bad hair day too. Write down if it feels crunchy, if it feels sticky, if it feels brittle, if it's really frizzy, if you're not getting a lot of volume, or anything of that sort. Write it down, because there are reasons behind every single one of those things that are important to you. Now, the reasons behind why your hair was looking banging or why it was looking bumming could be a variety of things. One of the things that do make a difference does make the difference is the weather. So whether or not it was raining, whether or not, you know, there were high levels of humidity, the temperature also matters, all these things, because I don't know if you've ever gone outside or before you go outside, your hair just looks amazing, and then you step outside and then it's just like poof, you know, it's just crazy frizz. All that matters too, so you want to jot that down. Your diet makes a difference, because remember, what you're putting into your body is going to reflect on the outside. So certain foods that you're eating could benefit towards the health of your hair. I have a blog post on main approved foods or main approved meals that you could be eating to help in the health of your hair too. So certain foods that are good for you might be lacking from your diet, and maybe that's why your hair just isn't in the best state that it could be in. And then of course the products that you're using. Whenever you write down your curly hair regimen into your curl journal, you want to write every single thing down. So if you're shampooing, if you're conditioning, if you're deep conditioning, if you're using leave-in conditioners, if you're pre-pooing, if you're using oil treatments, if you are using protein treatments or deep conditioning treatments, I think I said that already. And then of course the styling products that you're using, you want to write down the order in which you're using them, because of course the order makes a difference too. Kind of like the lock method. I've mentioned in a previous video, whenever you're doing the lock method, that it's important in the order in which you're using the products, and the lock method isn't always for everybody, and some people have to modify the lock method so that it's like, instead of a leave-in, an oil and a cream, maybe it's oil, leave-in, cream, or, you know, changing up the style because it suits their hair type better. For those of you who are interested in hair length and wanting to achieve longer hair, then you can also incorporate things like a length check in your curl journal. So maybe measuring certain spots or certain areas of your hair to see how long it is, jot that down, and then 3 to 4 months down the line, you can remeasure your hair and see whether or not you're getting a difference. Because if you're just looking at your hair the way it is, spring factor, of course, is another important thing to keep in mind whenever you're focusing on the health of your hair, because the healthier your curls are, the more shrinkage you're gonna get, or the more of a spring factor you're gonna get. So the healthier your hair is, you might not even notice that your hair is getting longer until you stretch them out and you're like, oh, I didn't realize my hair reached boob length. You know what I mean? Things like that. So like I said, there really isn't much to what you're including in your curl journal other than what you feel measures progress in your personal curl journey. So for me, it's really just a variety of different things. So for example, one entry I have on July 13th, I started Hairfinity. That's an important thing. If you're taking hair supplements, write down the first day that you started using that hair supplement, because a lot of people have different reactions to hair supplements or taking biotin or anything, any kind of vitamin that's supposed to help with their hair growth or hair strength. Some people feel like they've been breaking out for it. Some people feel like their hair thins out. Some people feel like they don't get much change. So this is another great way if you're starting to take biotin or any kind of hair supplement to record the progress of your hair. So I started taking Hairfinity on Monday, July 13th. I also recorded how many glasses of water that I drank that day, because drinking water, especially if you're taking biotin or a hair supplement, is really important. I recorded the weather that day. The heat index reached 108 degrees, high levels of humidity. I put freaking hot because it was freaking hot. I put what I styled my hair with that particular day. So I styled my hair with the yucca and plantain, used the styling milk, on third day hair, and only the yucca and plantain styling milk on third day hair. I put what I ate that day, which what I can see, it really wasn't a lot of protein. I also washed my hair later that night. It says co-wash using the yucca and plantain conditioner, and then followed with the strengthening mask. And then afterwards, I finger coiled with yucca and plantain styling milk. I also have in here that I started breaking out. So a lot of people say that you're breaking out after taking hair supplements, but I can already tell that it's not because of having used Hairfinity, because I just started using the Hairfinity that day. But I also have a note on here saying that I was on my period, and obviously the whole hormone, you know, being a woman sucks sometimes. So obviously the breaking out had to do with that and not because of the hair supplements that I was taking. So I don't have any photos in this curl journal, but one thing that I've been doing is keeping track or progress of how my hair looks based off of the different thumbnails that I've been using in my videos. I know that sounds a little cheesy and maybe a little weird, but like I said, it's a visual image that I have that I can use to compare what my hair looked like a year ago from what my hair looks like now. And one of the things that I've noticed is that my ends coil a lot tighter than they did at the start of when I started filming YouTube videos. You know, things like that. Whatever, like I said, whatever it is that you can use that you feel works for you when it comes to tracking and measuring the progress of your hair, go with that. But jot it down, because it's a way for you to reflect and see how far you've come from when you first started your journey or your journal or your transition or anything. I really hope this video helped you guys understand a little bit of what I mean whenever I say I'm jotting things down in my curl journal to track the progress of my hair. If you guys are interested in more information about a curl journal, I do have a specific blog post on what a curl journal is that goes a little bit more into depth on what it is, and I'll leave a direct link to that blog post in the description box below in case you guys are interested in seeing that. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye! And I love the results. I've used this a variety of different ways. I've used it with a leave-in conditioner. I've used it as a leave-in conditioner. I've used it on wet hair. I've used it on dry hair, and I've generally liked all of the results that I've